Hey folks, it's Mike Cayley 7 coming at you on the last day of August in 2018, going against the grain, taking the long way home for your edification. So what's going on with me? Well, got another story for you, and it concerns my dad, because apparently that's a big hit with the viewers. My dad's a big hit. So I'll tell you another story about my dad and his crazy doings. So as I said, and as you may already know, my father was a walking, talking, badass nuclear weapon of a human being. And as such, he had a lot of episodes of this kind of thing, so here we go. He was 65. This is back in the early 2000s, I guess. 74, 2010, 64. So 2001, roundabout. And he was 65 years old. He went to Walmart, and he hated Walmart because they were anti-union, or they are anti-union. And he's union, he's Local 4, the International Crane Operators Union, Local 4. Very proud of that. He had 50 years in there. If you look up Local 4, 50-year reunion or whatever, 50-year honors, you'll see his picture in there. He's on the right-hand side looking kind of not too happy, but anyway. So he goes to the Walmart, and he always parks in the back because he hates the parking, and he wants to have fewer people, and he takes his bag full of stuff to go inside to get a refund, and they wouldn't give him one because he didn't have the receipt. And he said it was because they saw his Local 4 emblem on his jacket. So he walked out of there mad. He goes back to his car, which was a green Suzuki Samurai. Little thing, just like a little two-door Jeepy looking thing. I used to tell him that he could wear it like a backpack because it was so small on him, but he loved that little thing. So he goes to get in his car. He goes out to his car, and he sees that somebody has parked so close to it, and there's all kinds of spaces in the back, but somebody's parked so close to him that he can't get in his side of the car. So he walks over to the driver's side of the car next to him, that's blocking him in basically, and proceeds to kick the mirror off of the car. I'll show you, right? I'm going to kick the mirror off your car. So he does. At this moment, the owner of the car is coming, and he sees what my father has done, and he's probably at least 20 years younger, if not more, and he's a construction worker. He's this big strapping dude, and he says, "I'm going to kick your ass, old man." He comes running over. So this is a quote from my father, okay? He goes like this. He says, "Well, I know I can't go round for round no more. So I get ready for him, and I put my head down like I'm ashamed and scared of him. And he comes running up to me, and when he gets up close, bing! I knock him right out." So he actually cold-cocked this guy, knocked him flat. He goes hitting the parking lot like a ton of bricks, and there's this old lady. She comes running over. She says, "I heard the smack from across the parking lot." So he looks at the situation, looks at the lady, and he says, "That's it, I'm out of here." So he goes around the passenger side, 65 years old with a bad knee, and climbs over the stick shift to get into the driver's side, and it peels out of there and takes off, goes home. Puts his Jeep in the garage, and then he waits. He turns on the TV, really. He turns on the TV to watch the local news to see if they're looking for him, because he wasn't sure if he killed the guy or not. So they said, "Yeah, we're on the lookout for this elderly man driving a green Jeep. If you see this, he knocked somebody out in the parking lot." They're looking for my dad. So he ended up not driving that Jeep for a long time, and then giving it to his wife for her to drive when he felt the coast was clear and he could put that vehicle out on the road again. Yeah, he knocked the guy out cold. There was another time after that, actually, too. It also involved Walmart. He's coming out of the Walmart and he sees this car pull up in the handicap parking, and the guy that gets out is this young 20-something, young punk. My dad, I think, might have said. And he says, he looks and he sees that there's no handicap parking placard hanging from the mirror. So he says to the kid, as he's walking toward him, as the kid's walking toward my dad, he says, "Hey, that's a handicap parking space. You can't park there." So the kid says, "Mind your own business, old man." So he steps in front of him, puts his hands on his hips like John Wayne, blocking the path, and he says, "I'm making it my business." So the kid goes to shove my dad. My dad takes his wrist, bends it over, knocks the guy on the ground. The guy's screaming in pain because my dad's holding his wrist. Cop comes running over. My dad lets the guy go. The guy jumps behind the cop and says, "This guy's crazy." So my dad says, "He's parking in a handicapped spot. He's not supposed to park there." At this moment, out of the car, without the handicap placard, gets this old ancient dude. And he's got a walker, and he's coming over. He's coming over real slow because he could barely walk. He says, "That's my grandson." So that's why the guy parked in the handicap spot. He was going to get a basket for his grandfather, who was still getting out of the car. So the kid says, "I want to press charges." So the cop says, "Really? You want to press charges against this old man? You're going to go and appear in court and say this old man beat you up?" So the guy's like, "Never mind, forget it." And so the cop turned to my dad and said, "Just go home. We could just go home." So my dad went home. Oh, God. Yeah. He had a temper on him. And he was always ready. Always ready for a fight. Constantly ready. He had Terminator vision. Whenever he looked at anybody, he was sizing them up. If they had a limp, he knew he was going to use that against them. In talking to them, if he found out they had an injury of some kind, he cataloged that in his brain so he could use it in case he ever had to fight that person. That's the kind of man he was. Everybody was a potential enemy. In his house, he had knives hidden everywhere. Inside magazines and books, under pillows, next to chairs, in the bathroom. And he had guns everywhere. In the magazine rack in the bathroom with the knife. In the chair next to him, in the chair underneath him, he had another one on the other side. The man had 14 guns and double that in knives. And he had them hidden everywhere. He had them hidden in his car. So when he died, I went back to the house to go through his things because he told me to. And found all these weapons. I mean, of different sizes, and all of them, of course, sharpened to deadly precision. Because that's what he did. And we all knew that you don't sneak up on that man because he'll kill you. I don't care how old he is. So, whenever I would visit him, I'd pull up in the car and I'd get out and I'd start saying out loud, "Dad, it's me. Don't shoot. Dad, it's me." And I'd repeat myself over and over as I'm walking into the house slowly. Come in the living room and he's sitting there watching TV, Gunsmoke. He always watched Gunsmoke. And I said, "I announced myself, Dad, so you know I was here." He says, "Don't worry, I drew a bead on you the moment you pulled up." Oh, God. Yeah. The man could not be surprised. The man could not be jumped. And if somebody tried to, that was a very regretful act on their part. Me, you can scare the hell out of me and I'll scream like a girl. Wah! Not my dad. They don't make them like that anymore. They just do not make them like that. Shout out to 4-Footer for the great comment you left. Apparently you knew somebody who knew my dad. I cannot wait to talk stories with you guys, or with you anyway, to find out what crazy stuff you have on him. Alright, talk to you later.